2 lie-doos. We in this bit. Our girl Joy has joined the clique.
Hey, yeah.
2 lie-doos. Our facts legit. 2 lie-doos. We keep it lit.
You know that.
2 lie-doos. Our facts.
Hey.
2 lie-doos. We got the views. 2 lie-doos. I got them too. 2 lie-doos. We can't not lose. 2 lie-doos. Hey, little remix for y'all. You know what I'm saying? What's up, peoples?
Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Man Cave. My name is BJ, aka Mr. Bowtie, with me as always.
Nice one, D. Nice.
And the balance to the mix is
Joy.
Yes,
all right.
Yes, sir.
So we start every episode off with the Melon Report, and today we're gonna do a little different. We're gonna
sprinkle. Well, everybody gonna sprinkle down a little Melon Report.
Yes.
What you got for us?
So my personal day, I'm gonna give my quote is let's eat, be merry. Let's all eat and be merry, for tomorrow we may die. And if those Christians out there, you may have read it in the biblical text of the Bible, but it was originally spoken by Imhotep, who lived 400 years long before the Bible was even written. It was also stolen by Greek philosophers, which a lot of things out of Egypt were stolen from them, which is one of the reasons why that quote is really deep to me. And also, you have to enjoy things while they're here, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. All right?
Facts.
That was my turn.
Yeah, it's on you.
All right, so my number one is Black History, so I got my nails painted black, just for the month Black History. You know what I'm saying? When you go out to the stores, ask them for that BHM discount, and if they say what that is, Black History Month. And if they tell you no, tell them they're racist. Anyway.
Don't go that far.
All right, my quote states, in the long run, there's not much discrimination against superior talent. And that was by the founder of Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson. Thank you. And what that means is no matter how much they try to push you down, if you're superior or if you're just better than somebody else, it can't be denied. And if you look at all our great inventors, scientists, athletes, teachers, politicians, they couldn't stop it. So it's like once they see that talent, there's nothing you can do. So, you know.
Nice. What you got for us?
Hey. My quote for Black History Month in the Melon Report is, you can kill a liberator, but you can't kill a liberation. You can kill a movement, but you can't, you can kill a movement maker, but you can't kill the movement. You can kill the movement for progression, but you can't kill the progression. And my boy Fred Hampton said that, one of the co-founders of the Black Panthers.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of great quotes. He was a great inspiration to our people in the Oakland area. That's where they came and founded that. Y'all go check that history out. They did a lot of positive things, counter to what you've been told through history. So go do your research. They always make our black historians or our black heroes villains, and they really were heroes for real. They were just trying to do what was needed for us, keep us going.
And they didn't steal the capital.
Actually, I really like this version of it. I'm sorry, I probably wasn't supposed to say this now, but I kind of like this version of the Melon Report, because we talk about people most people don't talk about. Like, nobody knows about Fred Hampton and Bobby Seale with the Black Panthers, because they always talk about Huey Newton. All right, and then of course Fred Hampton was murdered. But anyway, we're gonna continue going on with the current, what he said.
Current events.
So what you got? What's current? I
was
supposed to go. I know. Anyway, first thing we talk about, man. Rest in peace, Cicely Tyson. She was definitely a pillar for our community. She epitomized what it meant to be a great black strong woman, and she never compromised who she was for a check, which is not much we can say about a lot of women these days with all these challenges and TikTok and whatnot. But what else is going on? We got else I forgot.
Jeff Bezos officially stepped down as CEO. My thing is, I think he feels that Amazon's about to get hit with some stuff from Congress. Yep. So we'll see. So he's like, I'm not taking that headache. So
I'm not the CEO. He is.
Yeah, that's that guy. So I'm interested what Amazon stock is going to do. Is it going to sort of plummet tomorrow, or is it going to stay the same?
We had a rich Karen on the basketball field at the Hawks-Lakers game last night.
I'm sorry, who won?
The Lakers, of course. But But anyway, you know, my boy LeBron was doing his thing, shooting the shot, and the Karen husband said something to him, so he responded back, and then the wife was like, "You say something else to my husband, I'm gonna kick your ass, bitch," or some shit like that. And like, what? So he said something like, "Put your mask on in this bitch." So she think he said something about her being a bitch. He didn't, you know, he was class act all the way through, but he did say bitch, but in the context of put your fucking mask over your nose and your mouth and wear it properly. So it was an exchange, and she got kicked out. I know a lot of y'all see it on the gram or whatever you saw it on ESPN, but yeah, we had a pale privilege prick show ass once again. I don't hear no sounds either. So,
yeah.
Pale privilege prick.
Anyway, first of all, sir, anyway, we're gonna keep going. Thank you, Reddit. By the way, Reddit recently, if you haven't heard the news, they helped boost GameStop stock. Helped a lot of regular, normal, middle class people, and bankrupt some of those higher ups who were trying to get over on the system. So appreciate Reddit.
Well, if you look today, they're back to normal.
Of course,
it's like $30-something now.
Yeah, but them companies and the people who tried it, they not back to normal.
They hurting that.
So
all them plans for the summer and all the little shit you thought you was gonna capitalize and merge and hedge fund and buy some shit, you ain't doing that. You suffering this quarter.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna jump into our topic for today.
Oof, sad but true. Tell her what it is.
I forgot, man. I'm telling you, man. This CRS is killing me.
Tell them what it is, Miss Lady. Miss Joy. Yeah, this guy over here, boy.
I'm supposed to know, man. I don't know.
Wow.
And
Okay.
He don't even do anything. He's sober. Sheesh.
Define sober. Never mind. Anyway, so today's topic is...
All right, so we're going to talk about domestic violence. And between... it's really plaguing our society, and I'm not going to even call it just a community. No, I'm just going to not even break it up in racial issues. It's just like a whole thing that we're dealing with internationally.
Well, this is Black History.
Okay, so we'll know. Okay, we're going to concentrate on that.
It is all around.
All right, so we'll do that. All right, so if we're
microcosm right now.
If we're focusing on that part of domestic violence, having been in a domestic violence relationship, having had friends who have been in it or going through it currently, I could tell you that one of the things that we constantly hear about it is like, if I just, try harder, he'll change. He's just, going through X, Y, and Z. And your common sense detaches from you. You have every single red line. Flash and all other stuff. You see the signs. You become what they say on the pamphlet without even knowing. And I think a lot of times is thinking that there's a lot of denial when you're in one. It took me a long time to even say those words, because I never want to be seen as a victim. I never want to be seen as somebody who was weak or anything like that. But when you find yourself in that situation, number one, again, it's a lot of denial. Like, I'm not in this, I'm not in this, I'm not in this. And like, yeah, you are in this. And
did you see it as a younger child? Like, did you see it as a
child?
No,
I didn't. Actually,
you wasn't raised.
I wasn't. No. I wasn't raised in a violent situation. And the thing is, I think what really woke me up when I found out I was pregnant, and I was not going to raise my son in that. I was like, there's no way. Like, everything I did, and I never went back. But a lot of women stay because they want that family nucleus and all other stuff. Yeah, they want to see both parents. But I'm like, well, and I told him flat out, I'm like, if I stay with you, either I'm going to be in jail, you're going to be in jail, or one of us is going to be dead. And I'm not going to leave my son to an orphanage or have other people take care of it. So I literally had to just as much hurt. As much as hard as it was and difficult it was, I was like, I got to make this move for, my oldest son. And and the times as you go back and forth a lot, because like once you leave, you still want your child to know their father or whatever, and that's, especially women with children,
you know he's gonna be better.
He's gonna be better, and you really in those small moments. So I would say 100. If our relationship was like in a pie, right? I would say 85% was just hell, and that other 15 was just moments of just peace. But then the thing is, it could be nice, and in a split second, it just goes to shit.
Well, we're definitely glad you made it through.
Yeah, man, that nigga was horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Fuck nigga.
That definitely, man. I'm pretty sure. I think we've talked about it before too, man. What do you have to prove to try and violate a woman in any kind of way? Like, if you already know physically you're stronger.
Did you ever see it as in your upbringing, childhood? Anybody you know about? I mean, I think it starts.
So I didn't see the domestic violence. Unfortunately, I've known people who were sexually assaulted, which, come to find out now, it happens to 1 in every 3 women, which is
from their own family.
Outrageous. It's usually someone close to you, someone in your family, like an uncle or cousin. It's usually someone close to you, and it's one in 3 women, and most of them don't even come forward and say anything about it. But it's jarring numbers.
Right, it's sad. Well, me personally, my dad was a little aggressive to my mom, i.e. he was domestically violent to her. I've seen it plenty of times as a child. I remember growing up, them fighting. Some of the shit I was just too young to actually remember the chain of events, but I remember him chasing her and they running back and forth in the house and her, trying to get her, she trying to get away and shit, and then he kicking doors down and shit, and then he beating her ass, then he running out and coming back, then hear the music playing later on and they laughing and shit like, what the fuck? Well, y'all just so it's just like sometimes the woman is more invested into it than is let on. It's not all like victim suspect only, because they can perpetuate a way like they like dudes to be physical towards them. A lot of women out here feel that like if he ain't hitting me or he ain't did nothing to me physically, he don't really love me. And a lot of them really think like that. Like a lot of y'all moms, your grandmoms or your aunties, they were raised like that, and y'all think that shit is right. That shit ain't right at all. Like, nigga don't have to do that to show he love you. Only way he can show he love you is by his actions. The actions show that, and those actions showing like the opposite of love. So
I think a bigger issue to that,
abuse is love. That shit ain't love.
I think a bigger issue to that is a lot of people in our generations didn't grow up in a solid family home.
Yeah.
So they didn't get the opportunity to see what love was or to see how people should be treated. So I definitely know, like, out of my friends, I was the only one who grew up with both my parents in my house.
Yeah, that shit was rare to have both your parents. When I was growing up, that shit was super rare, because they either got arrested for some shit on the streets or it was some domestic violence shit and he got kicked out and, or just left the family all that in general, just on some, don't want to be responsible for the kid. You know what I'm saying? But comes around and try to get some ass and then pop off and beat her up and then leave. I've seen shit like that too from family members. So
I know a lot of it is learned behavior. I mean, if you growing up seeing it, one of the things he told me when my mom stayed, I'm like, I am not your mother. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's like they see that when my parents did it, they're still together. And he even said, you're a coward for leaving. And I was just like, and that was one of the most resounding things he said to me. I'm like, I'm a coward for leaving. And I was like, okay.
You're actually more brave for leaving.
Well, because again, like,
not sticking in
we're
there.
Like sticking in there. I was like, I said, I can't do it. You know what I mean?
You're a quitter.
Yeah, right. I'm a quitter.
That's
and he was
psychological
like,
shit.
Yeah,
right
I was like, dude, no. And the thing is, I think for a while, for a while, I was already detached from the relationship. Probably like 6 to 7 months in. Even a year, I just wasn't interested in it as I was trying to do my career and do my thing. And I just didn't really know how to wiggle out of it. So it was kind of like, I feel stuck. You know what I mean? So, and with him, it was kind of always, he was the type of person who had to be validated through like putting you down or insults. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like
mental abuse.
Right.
Well.
As for physical, that is, and that's
abuse.
probably the worst
Guys,
one.
mental abuse.
That's the worst one. You guys ask why I don't date and go out and have a serious. It's because of that.
I mean, we're all guilty of it in some kind of form. I am too. I raise my hand. I do feel like I'm more aggressive when I want something done, and it's not like in a kind like voice, especially if you know I already expecting to eat something when I come home, and then you tell me when I get home, oh, you gotta go get something to eat, so my tone's gonna change totally. But that's just too personal. But I'm just saying.
Feed this man.
So
yeah.
I want to bring something to light that when this topic comes up, it usually is never hit on. But there's a reverse side to that, right? There are men who are mentally, verbally, and physically abused.
I agree.
Explain. Elaborate.
I agree.
So there are men who are mentally, physically abused, but to the point where, and I've had conversations with people just to get their idea on this. But if you are out, say you're out to eat, and if you see a man jump up and start hitting a woman, immediately you're appalled. Oh my God, he shouldn't be doing this. But if you see a woman do that to a man, then it's like, oh, well, it's whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody ever says that they're going to stop in and save that man from getting beat, but everybody wants to stop that woman. Mm-hmm. Right?
How many instances do you see that happen?
Oh, I've seen plenty. I've actually been even in relationships where the girl, because she feel like, oh, you ain't gonna hit me and want to jump or want to push me. No, we not to do this. And one thing I want every woman to understand, and it's not a knock on them, but if you are a woman out there and you feel like you can attack a man, it physically put your hands on a man. Be prepared for repercussions from that. Oh, yeah, don't think that you're gonna run up and hit this man and he's just constantly has to take it. But I've seen it. I've seen even when I was in high school, there were kids like boys who were like, I can't hit her because she's a girl because that's how I was raised. And this girl was whooping his ass. They literally wailing on him. He's like, no, I'm just gotta take it because she's a female. No, you can defend yourself. Like. Don't get me wrong, definitely defend yourself, but don't be the aggressor as a man. I don't think there should be. But that's the same thing when we have to respect each other all the way across the board. We have to have the same respect for each other. We have to have that same kind of level of, I don't want this to happen to me, so I shouldn't do it to you.
And there's also double standard with when you talk about sexual abuse when a woman does it, to kids or whatever, like teachers. Mm-hmm. Number one, that's so nasty. I can't, ugh. Anyway, so when female teachers have sex with their students, it's like, well, I wish my teacher was like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're taking advantage of a child. You're doing something to him that you should not do. I mean, and it's like judges use, you only get 5 years to go get probation or something like that. But if that was a
boy is not thinking that. No, I'm thinking as a 15-year-old, if I could have hit my math teacher, oh my God, I would have been so happy.
I had not one teacher I wanted. I had the ugliest.
This is not a trauma. This is not really a trauma for a 15-year-old teenage boy. If his female
but it
teacher
can be, man.
But it could be, yeah.
It's not common.
It's not a typical trauma. But let's go back and channel in what we were talking about, which was, first we was giving an example of what we've seen, what we've been through. Now we're gonna bring it to the new generation of a relationship. Because my son is of age. I got a 20 and 24-year-old. And I've seen the dynamics of their relationship, just from hearing things. Not them personally, but it's that age group. And they're very physical with each other. They're like punching on each other. They're like, slapping each other. You've seen the pranks they do to each other, putting bags over each other's mouth and so they can't breathe, and flour and slapping it all in each other's face. Yeah, just for pranks.
Just to be. Yeah, they do them on social media a lot. Social media
all the time. So they got very physical relationships anyway. So when I see one of them tearing into the dude or tearing into the girl, the whole shit is just toxic to begin with. If y'all have that kind of relationship, because if you looking at it like it's some kind of adrenaline rush, or it livens up our love making or whatever dumb shit y'all be thinking. In the end, is it's negative to the kids that's around. That's the reason why y'all probably messing with each other, and it doesn't produce anything positive moving forward. So it's gonna be something you're gonna stay in because it's toxic for both of y'all. So that's what I'm saying. People be in an abusive relationship because they toxic and he toxic, so they be toxic together. And until you fix yourself, then you ain't gonna know you in a real abusive relationship until you know what I'm saying, step back and get out of that shit.
Let me ask you this, in you two's opinion, how do you go about helping someone who you see is truly being abused? Because I've noticed when I was an EMT, one of the things that I could never get myself doing, my dad being a police officer told me that you can't step in if you see things are happening because sometimes you will be the one who or you're in the wrong, that woman can jump out. But how do you help that person and tell them and give them that encouragement to step away and understand how bad this is?
Well, I know that this is my situation, my former situation, my friend's situation is you can't push them. They have to come to the realization that they want this to change. The only thing you can do is be like a support to them. I'm here to listen. Are you okay? Check on their feelings. It's kind of like that Eve song, "Love Is Blind." The whole video, I think people really need to relook at that.
Yeah, he was not a normal dude.
Right.
He was off the top.
Right. And the thing is, Eve kept trying to, tell her friend, girl, leave, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you can do that till your face turns blue, but really, they have to get it here to leave. Yeah. Sometimes the simplest things will click. You see, or stuff. It's like the Chad Willard situation with Seattle Seahawks. When he beat
his girlfriend,
he beat his girlfriend to the point where he was like, "Oh, you're not dead." You know what I mean? He said that, so it's like maybe that was her wake up call.
And the NFL hasn't done shit about it.
No, they haven't even said.
He got fired,
but they haven't kicked him out like Antonio Brown, like you're suspended.
Ray
Rice, all of them.
Yeah,
exactly.
They made a spectacle of it. No, they definitely.
Well, they had done that. So again, great privilege.
No public
Black History Month.
Yeah.
Recognition.
Right.
I'm sorry. Continue.
So, but the thing is, maybe that was her wake up call. So it's like they have to. It's like they have to be able to see that this is rock bottom. And sometimes,
that's what it takes.
Sometimes they have to hit that rock bottom. Again, for me, it was. I have these children. They can't see this. Like my children, even if we're arguing, they're like, stop fighting. So they're not used to any of that type of drama. And that's the type, and then not only that, but then I thought, I can't have another piece of shit black male out there. Mm-hmm. There is no way I can put that on the world.
Mm-hmm. I have your son, right?
Yeah, my sons. Yeah, I said there's no way I can even put them out there like that. Ooh. So it's kind of like they can't see this, and unfortunately, because of it, he even said, if we're not together, I'm not helping with them. Cool.
Well, ain't a lot of women in a relationship with dudes because another reason they're afraid.
They're afraid to leave.
If I leave this dude, you see on the news how far they'll go. They'll kill whomever is in their house to get to you, or they'll kill you plus the other person just because you in there with them. Like these dudes on a whole nother level of you minds. Like they really think you are possession, and they holding on to you like from a young age. These like high school to like 25 to 30-year-olds going crazy over one girl. Like it's billions of people in the fucking world, and y'all going ape shit over one female or one dude, like, and just throwing your life away. Like the stories I see about the girlfriend and the dude kidnapped the other girl's roommate and then trying to make them have sex with each other and didn't want to, so you kill them. Like, what kind of... Y'all are savages, like, for real. Like, y'all some demons out here for real, but that's why I say, if you around toxic shit all the time, then the shit is normal. And when you do shit that's normal and it's toxic, then all you're doing is feeding that shit and spewing it, and it's hard to get out of shit like that. So
also, I think they go with like what they see, what they hear on music. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so just brutal now. There's not a lot of
women. No positivity.
I stay with my man. I stay with my dude no matter what. Like you look at
on you and like I'm still riding with him.
Speaking of abuse,
beat her ass, all that dumb shit.
Speaking of abuse, the whole T.I. and Tiny situation. Like I didn't even know what that was. I kept seeing it. Yes.
He denied.
Of course he's gonna deny it. Why? I mean, the thing is, I'm not an AT alien.
Well, this
all right?
is our alleged.
You know, they're
Wait, say it again.
AT alien.
Oh, don't do that again.
Don't.
You gonna get us?
What is it?
They gonna talk about us.
Alien? What is it? AT
alien.
alien? You know
Yeah, what he said. Yeah,
AT alien.
they gonna talk bad about us, man.
AT
Not us.
It's just me.
It's Joy.
No, so what
We're
I'm
gonna lose 20
No,
subscribers
we're not.
right now.
No, we're not. Yeah. Go
So
ahead.
what the thing is, okay, allegedly they didn't do it, but even with the allegation itself, and these other women, like, you know, sometimes, you know, you got your Bonnie and Clyde who want to get down just like you,
Yeah,
and then
toxic on
and then
toxic,
and then
that's
you
what
want
I'm
to
talking
keep them happy that you're willing to sell out your morals to do whatever. So it's like I think what domestic violence is, violence is kind of like a virus. It can spread. You know what I mean? A virus is spread, and I think, you know, if you see it. If it's cool, nobody says anything, especially if you got people with low self-esteem. Like, I can't tell you, even with me, like, you know, before, you know, he and I even linked up, like, I was bubbly, happy, not a care no more, just real innocent. And then, like, after that situation, it's like, it was gone. And I even said, I feel bad for anybody that comes after you because they're going to get the worst of me. And it's not fair, but it's honest. And I think when you're in that situation, you don't learn to trust people. You don't want to trust. You don't even want to touch a man. And I know some women, they just completely leave. You know,
everybody else from that point on just get fucked over because of your toxic ass and fucked it up for everybody else.
Exactly. So one of the reasons why I'm just like, let me work on myself before I get back in it, because I don't want to take out that BS on somebody who doesn't even deserve it. So, you know, so men who are dating women coming out of those situations, you're going to have to give them time, space, lots of patience, reassurance, and understanding. Because the moment you show that you're just an inkling like him, it's a done deal.
Yeah, and another thing on this domestic violence is beyond just the relationship sometimes, because you have these stand-up guys that come in a relationship and take care of the kids that the woman has. And then the dad that's not there or looking outside of the situation and gets jealous and shit, and now you want to kill the new dude because he taking care of your son that something you could never do. Mm-hmm. That's the most cowardice, punk boy shit you can be, kind of man you can be. That ain't even no man. That's like a little bitch ass boy. Like, y'all need to grow up. If you're having kids, these females, and then you don't like them, but with the one time you fucked them and then somebody else trying to come in and take care of the kids and everything, let that man step up, because apparently you ain't there yet. And to come back and try to hate on that situation or try to kill folks and all that dumb shit because you don't like that just your family that you supposedly had is now happy with somebody else, you gotta let that shit go, man. And that's a real spill.
We're doing it.
No, I was
about to say, I didn't know.
That was real spill, though.
It comes out sometimes.
So the question is, as men, if you see one of your friends going on in his lady, do you feel inclined to step in, or do you say, hey, that's not my business?
I have to speak to him like, bro, I mean, what the fuck is going on with y'all? You need to leave that because you look like a hoe to me right now. I want to let them know how I really feel about that. Like, I tell them like straight up, I saw my mom get abused, and you know, I didn't fuck with my dad a long time because of that. So that's just like the biggest form of a man you can ever be, and I don't respect it. And if you continue to be like the way, I can't fuck with you no more. That's what I would say.
I agree with you, man, 1,000%. If I see it actively happening, I wouldn't jump in like, hey, let me break it up. But I'd be like, I would say something at that point. What are y'all doing? What's going on? And then this is my friend, and this is a guy called my friend. If anybody's your true friend, you should feel like you should be able to tell them the truth. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you, listen, man, this fucked up. This is why. What do you got to prove that you're going to do that?
Yeah.
And if I'm that close of a friend with the guy, I would probably say something to her too. You know, hey, is this the life you want to live? Are you comfortable with this? Mm-hmm. If that's what you want to do, you can see the next 20, 30 years of your life going through this same mess, then, hey, happy for you. But I think there's something else out there that you don't need to go through it. Man, whew.
Yeah, just because you see the shit, you know, you seen your dad do the shit, or you seen you know, your older brother beat up on his girl. That don't make that shit right. That just make him a bitch ass motherfucker not to follow. And you have your own life to live, and you know the shit ain't right because it don't produce anything positive out of it. You know what I'm saying? The only time they like to be around each other is when they get money from taxes or scams or some shit, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever situation it is about some money, or, you know what I'm saying, if she's sticking around because, you know, she getting a bag or some shit and she getting a head crack and she taking that as, well, that's all I'm dealing with, girl. He just hit me a few times, but you see how I'm dressing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some dumb bitches out here like that for real. Like, I mean, save yourself, bro. I mean, that's what it basically boils down to. If you're in a domestic violence situation, you gotta put value. You gotta look yourself in the mirror, like, and say, "Am I valuable? Mm-hmm. Do I really deserve this? Is this the only man that that I can get in my whole life?" And if you feel like that's it, then hey. Ride it to the death, because you're going to die.
Another thing I want to put on this topic before we get done with it is a lot of times when people have dealt with abuse or have been a part of it, people from the outside or people who haven't been involved with always had this idea, just get over it, let it go, let it be. Yeah. And it's not easy. It depends upon how you are and how this stuff happens. Everybody, it has an emotional toll on you. It has a certain effect on every single body. It affects everybody differently, and you have to allow them to grieve or deal with it a certain way. The best way to support them is not tell them to get over it. Is to help them. You know, hey, I understand. You know, things. It was a terrible thing that happened to you, and I wish that it didn't. Empathize with them. I know you can't understand. You can't really feel it if it didn't happen to you, but also understand that it can happen to you. Also understand that it was wrong that it happened to them, and they have to deal with it in their own way. Don't pressure them into start changing their lifestyle or to get out there and do things. We actually have to comfort them a little bit better than what we're doing. All right.
Yes, sir.
I would definitely say what my family did so well during that situation was there was no judgment there. You know, there was no that's your problem. You know, right. There was no judgment. So it was kind of like, and that's one thing I was really afraid of is like, damn, you know, I'm supposed to be the smart one, you know, all this, you know, making the right decisions, you know, this, you know, strong woman, all this other stuff. But like that image of me was just like shattered. So it was kind of like when you come to a person, you're at your weakest, lowest, most vulnerable moment. And what really helped me sort of just cleanse myself of it, there were little increments of myself that I was slowly putting back together. Like things I discovered that I liked, that I forgot I liked because he didn't like it or he didn't like. For instance, I had a thing about twirling my hair. He hated when I twirled my hair.
Don't fucking touch your hair.
Basically.
Hate that shit.
You're like, you look so dumb doing it. I'm like, nigga.
Dumbass motherfucker. Yeah. 12 years old.
Right. So it's like, but now it was like. Grade, yeah. So it's like now, you know, twirling my hair, like if I'm driving or it's just like in a deep thought.
Wee!
Yeah, exactly. So,
you know what I think about that? I think about the girl in Clueless. And
yeah, that. So, you know, so the thing is, you know, you have to sort of,
you learn yourself.
You have to learn myself. So it's kind of like for a while, you know, I wasn't dating. I was like kind of dating myself to see what I liked again. Mm-hmm. So it's like, even though if I was a chart or whatever, a pie, I'm not a math person. I would probably be at like 75, 80% of myself that I was. So it's like, it's slowly but surely getting there. Not only that, but then there are some new things that I added on. It's like now, you know, it grew me up. You know, I am older. I'm not as, you know, naive as I was, and you know, I can peep bullshit when I see it. Mm-hmm. So that always helps. And you know, if I could tell my younger self, you know, while I was going through this, I would be like, it's gonna be okay. You need to learn from this. Mm-hmm. It doesn't define you. You have a lot of years to be. You know, you have a lot of years. Yeah. So you have a lot of years left. But another question for you guys. Why do you think domestic violence is not taken as seriously as anything else? It's kind of like when we see, what I see when when a woman gets hit, the first thing they ask is, what did you do? You know what I mean? That's like the first common answer is like, well, what did you do? Like what, as if it's your fault. Sometimes, and I think sometimes as a woman, when we hear this, we think, well, shit, what did I do? And this is why, you know, we constantly say, well, if I do this different, if I do that different, if I'm better at this, you know, if I don't do that, you know. So why do you think domestic violence is not taken seriously? It really is not taken seriously.
Me personally, I think is as American as apple pie, as they say. You know, like every generation has dealt with domestic violence. Some generations worse than others. You know, you go back to your grandmothers. She can tell you how their men treated them when they were growing up, and believe me, it was not nice. I mean, they ready to have some sex, you was gonna have it, whether you like it or not. You know, that's how it was. Your grandmother ended with 14, 15 kids. She didn't volunteer for that shit. So, and I think then it just rolls downhill.
Wasn't abusing a woman legal? Like at the 20th century? Like if he
had
the right to... He had the right, so it's like if he had a stick...
There's no such thing as you raping your wife. Yeah. Like, huh? Yeah. No, I can... That's my wife. Property. Like, so... It's in the fabric of America. It's in the fabric of men thinking that, you know, once we say you have our last name or I do, then you're our property or you're our sex slave or whatever. And when we want something, we want it. And that's been instilled in man for...
Very much true.
Yeah.
I think for me, it goes a little further than just that in general. We live in a violent society, period. The country that we live in was founded on violence. Mm. Everything that we've done throughout history is all violence. Even now, when you look at how many times people share fight videos, and just last month or right before Christmas, 300 kids in Atlanta at Atlantic Station fighting, shit, yeah. And to where 2 kids were in the hospital. It's so violence is so normal to us that we don't even see it as a problem sometimes. All right, we have sporting events that are centered around violence, MMA, boxing, kickboxing, UFC. All these things is literally violence is so normalized that sometimes we don't see that it's a true issue because that's what we live every single day. So sometimes it will be you look up, what did you do? Because it may not be an issue. It's just this one time y'all had a problem, and sometimes it actually may be that. But it's so easy to see. It's so normal to see out there, man. I guarantee you, when we started fighting on here right now, our views would go straight up. Nobody would think, what the hell is going wrong? And they fought. You know.
Yeah, that was pretty general.
No, I'm serious. That's what it is, man.
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty. We talk about specifically relationship domestic violence. Not
that's what I'm saying. Even the reason why she asked is why do we not? It's not as prevalent. It's not as huge, and people don't vocalize it a lot. And I think that's why, because we live in such a violent society. When you see 2 people fighting, whether it's a male or female, 2 men, or anything, you immediately look, oh, they're just fighting. And unless you know the complete circumstances of everything that's going on, you don't get into it.
I just think that
I can't take a man with a chick ass in my face. I go ape. Something triggers in me because I got PTSD, and then I've seen it before, so I have to take myself from that situation, or I have to punch somebody in the face, and then I'm involved. I just can't. Sometimes that girl who's getting beat will beat you for jumping in.
Then
I would just have to shoot both of them. Now I'm afraid for my life. Now I'm shooting both of y'all stupid asses. Yeah.
I think anything that involves women is gonna kind of be overlooked. I mean, like if you look at how we view women's sports, women anything, it's just like. It's like whatever. Who cares? So I think if it was like generated towards men, it would be a sweeping thing about domestic violence. But I just think that because we don't value women, especially women of color, it's like whatever. Tough for her. It's just like the Chad Willard thing. You know what I'm saying? ESPN didn't even comment on it. You know what I mean? If somebody was like, it's not because he's a star. I'm like, no. If you guys are so anti-domestic violence, he needs to be put on everybody's ESPN, starting off Stephen A. Smith and all them other people need to have a whole damn segment of it and pull out his bullshit. But they try to say, oh, he has a mental illness. No, don't put people with mental illnesses in that category because there's a lot of people who have mental illnesses who don't going around, beating people up. So I think that if we kind of value women in different categories of our society, maybe we'll see domestic violence going down. Also, when we don't make jokes about it, Just like how people make rape jokes, they make domestic violence jokes. Like some things are just not, I always say like, imagine I was your mother, you know what I mean? Or your sister. You know what I mean? You'll have a whole different thing. Like with my sons, I don't even let my sons lift their voice a little bit to me because I always say, listen, you're going to be a husband one day. This is how I want you to treat your wife. But it's learning now. It's making them men now. Like whenever they're over their aunt's house.
Sad that dad can't do that, but
I mean, but the thing is the fact is
domestic violence.
The thing is, if their dad was around, I don't know what kind of positive impact he would make.
He's toxic. He's toxic in positivity.
Yeah, so it's like with I remember we got into a huge fight.
Ooh, right there.
Yeah, we got into a huge fight because he was calling a baby, "What up, cuh? What up, Crip?" And I'm like, "What the?" I'm like, I said, "Don't." I said, "Don't." I was like, "Don't put that on him." And he, went off about. I'm like, "Nah, man, don't put that on that baby."
Right, so before we go too far, man.
Yeah, we're gonna
close out. We're gonna bring it back.
We're gonna let you start
in closing
this time.
In closing,
that joy. Oh, you want to go ahead and close it out the real spill?
No, she got in closing.
Hit us with that joy and pain.
I'm on the spot.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We switching up things today.
Oh, we switching up. Okay. So I guess
no long wins.
It's not about the capital rights. I guess my joy is gratitude. I think we need to start saying thank you more to people and being more, having more gratitude just to things. I know in our society it's like, I'm not doing that, blah, blah, blah. But I think saying thank you in general, it shows a long way. And you'll get a lot more when you say thank you. My pain, I'm sure it's something. It's all good right now.
Hey.
It's all good. No pain.
All right, real spill from a G, man. If you don't want to be in something, don't put yourself in something. What that means is basically make wise decisions from the giddy up. You know what I'm saying? You're so eager to jump into situations you have no clue, you have no understanding, you did no research. Like, learn your game that you want to play, rather it's in a relationship, rather it's, it's a job, rather it's, these streets, you want to be out here, learn what you're trying to be out there doing, because if you don't, you will get played to the side. And I want to say also, you can only play around with your life on this Instagram and with these live threatening folks and y'all doing this and that, saying y'all don't fight no more, so you definitely gonna get killed. So before you get caught up saying you're a Crip this and you're a blood that, you better get your shit together out here, man, because people are taking that shit serious. Just ask CJ Whoopty. You know what I'm talking about. That's real spill.
So it's left up to me. What ties me in the knot today, man? What ties me in the knot is because I'm trying to figure out how to verbalize it. What I'm tired of is y'all fake street people. Like you will try so hard to prove that you from the street, or prove that you gangster or thug for some odd reason, just to prove somebody else wrong. No, I got it. Y'all wouldn't do the most stupid and idiotic stuff and put yourselves in danger to do this. But if somebody tell you, you know what, you can't start your own business, you can't run a multi-million-dollar company, somebody tells you you can't graduate from school, you gonna turn around and give an excuse. Well, they ain't just for me, or man, I ain't got money, or whatever. All this other bullshit that you can come up with. But to be a street motherfucker, to be one of these thugs and all this gangsters, you so proud and so ready to do it. You can be from the suburbs with a nice loving family and all this other stuff, but you gotta prove that you from East Atlanta or wherever the fuck you from, and whatever hood, Inglewood, whatever it is, you want to prove so fucking bad to be so tough. Why? Somebody explain to me why. What is this badge of honor y'all think it is that y'all want to have these hoods on you, or to be such thugs? Because what y'all don't understand is the people who really were in these streets and people who really did it, everything they did was to survive and get the fuck out. Right? And we try to bring other people out with us. Nobody's trying to go back and be that. Alright? That's all I got for y'all.
He cursed twice.
I know, right?
Whoa!
Get y'all shit together, young man. That's all we're trying to tell you. And that's the OGs that got some real shit to say to you. Like, stop listening to idiots. If You keep listening to the same garbage, all you're gonna get is sewer water pretty soon. So
anyway,
ooh, that was a
everybody who enjoys this, yeah, that one was good. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please subscribe. If you have not already, you can follow us all on social media.
200. Go tell your friends, man. Go tell everybody. You see what we on here? We popping hot right now. You know what I'm saying? The last one we did. Ooh, y'all need to go check that one out. And the one before that, the long one. Y'all get tired and you ain't got nothing else to do for an hour. Just go check that one out too. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you though. One love, two live dudes. We out. Peace.